What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best NBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now don't forget to like this video as it does let me know to continue to give you free picks every day. So make sure to like this video clicking that button down below. And if we get 500 likes, I will do another video for tomorrow. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group. And as you guys see, we actually got 21 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. So we're on a huge hot streak. But if you want to get 21 picks right like me, win more bets, and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $5,000 just yesterday, and another member who won $456 for the 5th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Nick Nation 4190 who said let's win, and shouts out to Terrence Kennedy Y4H who said I need a win today, let's go. So shouts out to them, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight to the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're talking about is none other than Anthony Davis, and this one is for 10.5 rebounds, and this one is for more. Now looking at Anthony Davis, we actually have seen him go on the over in actually 3 out of the last 5 games. Now looking at those 5 games, we see on October 23rd, faced off against San Antonio Spurs, had 13 rebounds there. October 25th, faced off against Washington, also had 13 rebounds in that matchup. Then we also saw 10 rebounds against Toronto on October 27th, 11 rebounds against Oklahoma City Thunder on October 28th, and then 5 rebounds against Indiana on October 30th. So definitely very interesting to see. Now when we actually look at Anthony Davis, we do know his average over the last 5 is 10.4, so slightly below this line, but nothing really too major. And Dallas Mavericks do face off against none other than Milwaukee Bucks. Now it is definitely going to be an exciting game between both of these teams. Now looking at where both of these teams do actually lie, starting off with the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas have had a pretty rocky start to the season because they currently rank 14th in the Western Conference. So they have a record of 3 wins and 7 losses. That's a 30% win percentage. They're also 2-4 from home, 1-2 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. And they face off against a Milwaukee Bucks team who do currently have a much better record, or I wouldn't say much better, but definitely a little bit of a better record in that sense, because they have actually, 3 extra wins. They currently have a record of 6 wins and 4 losses, and they currently rank 6th in the Eastern Conference. Now they have a record of a win percentage of 60%, 4-2 from home, 2-2 from away. So it's definitely going to be very interesting coming into this matchup. And we do also see when it comes to this matchup that, Dallas face off against Milwaukee, but Milwaukee defensively, when it especially comes to rebounds allowed, we do see that the Milwaukee Bucks, when it comes to rebounds allowed, actually do rank, somewhat mid-tier, as they do actually rank 21st. So I would say mid-tier, but still much on the lower mid-tier, I would say, more than anything else. So they actually do a pretty poor job at actually, grabbing rebounds and defending rebounds in general. And on top of that, they also do struggle at, restricting rebounds to the big man position, whether that's power forward or center, which tends to actually be, Anthony Davis's position. So Anthony Davis tends to play a little bit of that power forward, sometimes center, really does depend on the rotations. But, because of that, we definitely do still like the over for someone like Anthony Davis, and we should see him be able to take advantage of it. Now, although coming into this game, we do also know that Bucks do have some, pretty serious big men, whether it's actually players like Giannis, Miles Turner, all these others. But we do believe coming from this matchup, we do see that the stats don't lie, and we have seen Anthony Davis, take advantage of poor rebounding teams. So we are expecting him to do the same coming into this one. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the over for this one coming into this, game, because we definitely do like the over, and we look at what the bookies are saying. Bookies also have him favored for the over as well. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the over on this one. So Anthony Davis, 10.5 rebounds for more, I think is a fantastic pick. So, getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about none other than James Harden. So, James Harden has definitely had a great, season so far. He has been playing very well, but this one is for 24.5 points, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at actually James Harden, we have actually seen him go in the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at James, we have seen him on October 29th faced off against Golden State Warriors, had 20 points there. November 1st, faced off against New Orleans Pelicans at 24 points, 29 points against Miami on November 4th, then Oklahoma City Thunder, 25 points on November 5th, and then November 9th, faced off against Phoenix and had 13 points there. So it's definitely been pretty interesting to see. Now, coming into this one, we do very, very much like this situation because we do know that actually, James Harden faces off against, or the LA Clippers face off against an Atlanta Hawks team. Now, looking at where both these teams do lie, starting off with actually, the LA Clippers, we do actually see that the Clippers have found themselves in a position where they rank 12th in the Western Conference. So it's definitely been a little bit tough there. Now, looking at this, Clippers have a record of 3 wins and 6 losses, a 33% win percentage. It's definitely been a little bit tough in that sense. Now, they also have a record of 3-3 at home, 0-3 from away, and are currently on a 4-game losing streak. So they are definitely looking to turn things around very soon, and that's what they are hoping for coming into this next game. Now, looking at this, we do also see that obviously LA Clippers face off against Atlanta, and Atlanta Hawks do find themselves in a somewhat similar-ish position, but they find themselves 9th in the Eastern Conference, and they have a record of 5 wins and 5 losses. So a 50% win percentage there, 2-3 from home, 3-2 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So obviously, we do actually see Clippers do rank a little bit lower. Hawks have that just slight edge above them when it comes to ranking wise, and looking at actually Atlanta Hawks and where they do rank defensively when it comes to points allowed, we actually do see that Atlanta Hawks rank 10th when it comes to points allowed. So they actually do a fantastic job at restricting points, and it may surprise a lot of people, but they've definitely done a very, very good job. And coming into this one, we definitely see them, restricting and going on the under for someone like James Harden due to Atlanta's great defense. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the actual, under for this situation. When we look at Atlanta Hawks, they also do a fantastic job at restricting points to the guard position. And that is definitely due to the fact that when it actually comes to, James Harden and the LA Clippers playing that guard position, Atlanta Hawks do have a lot of great wing defenders, okay? They've got some great defenders in that team. They do a great job defending in general, and for that reason, we definitely do like the under for someone like James Harden, and we definitely are expecting a little bit of a struggle for James Harden out there. So I definitely would keep an eye out for it. Now, when we actually look at someone like James Harden, now, coming into this matchup, we do also know when it actually comes to this, matchup between Clippers and actually ATL, we do also see that, ATL not only do a great job against guards, but they actually do play a little bit of a slower pace type game recently. It has actually surprised a lot of people, as Atlanta Hawks do, tend to be a fast-paced team, but they actually a little bit on the slower side this season starting out, and we definitely see that affecting this greatly, and LA Clippers aren't really the fastest team as well. So for that reason, we aren't really expecting any sort of crazy sort of pace from that. So we definitely do like the under for sure. So definitely keep an eye out for the under for this pick. So James Harden, 24.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about none other than Yves Missi. Now, Yves, great player for none other than New Orleans Pelicans. And this one is a fantastic one for actually 7.5 points, and this one is for less. Now, looking at Yves, we've actually seen him go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, we do actually see October 23rd faced off against Memphis, actually had 5 points there. Then October 28th faced off against Boston, had 11 points in that matchup. Then we saw 10 points against Denver on October 30th, 6 points against LA Clippers on November 1st, and then November 3rd faced off against OKC and had 7 points there. So it's definitely been very interesting to see. Looking at someone like Yves, we have seen him go on the under quite consistently, but we do know that he faces off, or New Orleans Pelicans face off against the Phoenix Suns. So it is definitely going to be an exciting matchup, and looking at this matchup, we do actually see that, New Orleans Pelicans and Phoenix, ranking wise, starting off with the Pelicans. Pelicans rank 15th in the Western Conference. They also have a record of 2 wins and 7 losses. That's a 22.2% win percentage. They're also 1-2 from home, and also 1-5 from away. That is pretty interesting to see. Now, coming into this one, we do also know that they face off against, none other than the New York Phoenix Suns. And looking at Phoenix Suns, we see that they rank 9th in the Western Conference, 5 wins, 5 losses, a 50% win percentage. Also 4-1 from home, 1-4 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. So it's definitely been pretty interesting to see there. Now, coming into this one, we do see Phoenix Suns defensively, that when it actually comes to points allowed, we do actually see that the Suns rank, somewhat, decent, I would say, still somewhat mid-tier, but they do actually rank, 15th. So very straight down the middle, because there is 30 teams in the NBA. But the reason why we still do like the under for this is we actually see that Phoenix Suns do a great job at restricting points to the center position. So unfortunately for someone like Yves, we definitely see him going on the under in this one. Missy's also usage rate as of lately when it comes to points hasn't really been the highest. He had 2 outlier type games, but I think it's brought this line a little bit too high, that now there's a lot more value actually to go on the under. So that's why coming into this one, we do very, very much like the under for this one. And looking at someone like Yves Missy for the New Orleans Pelicans in the matchup against Phoenix, we are expecting, in this matchup, Phoenix to really put that pressure defensively. And with Missy not really being the main scorer for this team, we are expecting other players in this Pelicans team to really take over the points usage rate. And unfortunately, Missy may not have a lot of opportunities to score. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the under. So Yves Missy, 7.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but PrizePicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Dante Divincenzo. So as you all know, Dante Divincenzo, great player for none other than actually, the Minnesota Timberwolves. And he's done a fantastic job so far this season, actually averaging 14.4 points, 3.8 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and has also shot 43.6% from the field. So he's definitely done a great job there. He ranks 86th in points, 140th in rebounds, 62nd in assists, and also 122nd in field goal percentage. So it's definitely been fantastic for Dante Divincenzo so far this season. And when it comes to actually Dante, we do find themselves in a very, very good matchup coming into this next game against the Utah Jazz. So it is definitely going to be an exciting game between both of these teams. Now, looking at where actually Dante Divincenzo and the Minnesota Timberwolves do rank so far, they currently rank 6th in the Western Conference. Now, I did start off quite a little bit lower in actually the earlier part of the season, but they have been able to turn things around as of lately. And we actually do see them having a record of 6 wins and 4 losses. That's a 60% win percentage. On top of that, they are 2-2 from home, 4-2 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. So very, very interesting to see there. Now, coming into this matchup, it is definitely going to be an exciting one, but we do actually see that Dante Divincenzo and the Minnesota Timberwolves face off against the Jazz, where Jazz are in the Western Conference, but they actually rank 11th in the Western Conference. So very, very interesting to see there. Now, they also have a record of 3 wins, 6 losses, a 33% win percentage, and are 2-1 from home and 1-5 from away. So unfortunately, Utah Jazz have not done the greatest when it actually comes to that. So they definitely have struggled quite a little bit. Now, coming into this matchup, it is definitely going to be an exciting one. But looking at Utah Jazz defensively, we do see that Jazz do surprisingly rank 25th when it comes to points allowed, 28th when it comes to assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed. We also see Utah Jazz rank 14th. So they do rank a little bit higher in rebounds, but overall, we actually have seen that Jazz rank very low in pretty much every single category. So, coming into this one, we do actually like the over for someone like Dante Divincenzo, but we do like the over for him when it actually comes to points and assists. And a big reason being for that is due to the fact that when you look at Dante Divincenzo, he is also a guard. And what we also do see, not only do Utah Jazz rank poorly when it comes to restricting points and assists, but they also do a very, very poor job at restricting points and assists to the guard position. So we definitely are expecting someone someone like Dante Divincenzo to be able to take advantage of this and go on the over there. We have seen him do a great job so far. As we look at the last 5 games, we definitely have seen some big scoring games from him. Now, starting off on the 30th of last month, faced off against the LA Lakers. That was an interesting one because he had 14 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds there, which is interesting to see. Then on the 2nd of this month, faced off against Charlotte, had a 122-105 win with 18 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds there. Then against Brooklyn Nets on the 4th, had a 25-point game, 5 assists, 9 rebounds. So very, very big matchup against Brooklyn with a 125-109 win. And then on the 6th, faced off against New York Knicks, had a 137-114 loss with 21 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds there. Then on the 8th, faced off against Utah, had a 137-97 win with 3 points, 2 assists, and 6 rebounds there. So it's definitely been pretty interesting to see coming into this matchup. You know, we obviously have seen that they faced off against Utah recently, and he didn't really have the best shooting night and also playmaking assist wise. So we are expecting a little bit of a bounce back from that game against Utah coming into this next one. We are expecting massive adjustments to be made, which should definitely lead to the under for this one, which definitely should lead to the over for someone like Dante Divincenzo. He also had pretty much a pretty cold night scoring and also playmaking. So coming into this next one, we are expecting adjustments to be made. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the over for someone like Dante. But as I mentioned before, keep an eye out for points and assists specifically, as we definitely do like the over for that situation just that little bit more. Now, coming into this next one, or next player, we are going to be talking about Jaylen Duran from Detroit Pistons. Great job for the Detroit Pistons, because he's actually averaged 19.2 points, 11.3 rebounds, 1.6 assists, and has also had a 64.3% field goal percentage. So he's definitely done a great job there. Now, coming into this matchup, we do know that Jaylen Duran, and also, you know, his stats wise, he does rank 41st when it comes to points, actually tied first there. And rebounds, he actually ranks 6th, 150th plus in assists as well. And then we also do see on field goal percentage ranks 7th. So Jaylen Duran has definitely had himself a very good season so far. Now, they do find themselves in a really good matchup against a really, you know, I would say decent team, but, you know, they haven't really shown off when it comes to standing wise, but they do face off against the Washington Wizards. And what I mean by that is Wizards do, you know, have some decent players, but they haven't really been able to get that many wins under their belt. Now, they do face off against them, and looking at where both of these teams do actually rank, you know, starting off with Pistons, we are looking at both sides of the table, because Pistons do rank number 1 currently in the Eastern Conference. So they've been on an absolute tear. They have 8 wins, 2 losses, an 80% win percentage. And on top of that, they face off against a team who actually ranks last. But just to quickly touch on as well, Pistons do rank, have a record of 3-1 from home, 4-1 from away. Currently on a 6-game win streak, which is huge, and they face off against the Wizards, who actually rank last in the Eastern Conference. So they rank last. So it has been very tough for them. So it's been very tough for actually the, you know, Washington Wizards. So coming into this next game, they will try their best, but they do face off against a strong, you know, Detroit Pistons team. Now, looking at actually, you know, the Washington Wizards and where they do rank defensively, Wizards do, you know, surprisingly, unfortunately, rank 30th when it comes to points allowed. They also rank 29th when it comes to assists allowed, and 30th when it comes to rebounds allowed. So they pretty much almost rank last in every single category, and that's why coming into this one, we do very much like the over for someone like Jaylen Duran. We definitely see someone like Duran just being able to go on the over in this situation here, due to the fact that the matchup is, unfortunately, no disrespect to Wizards fan, is going to be very easy. Now, Duran has also had himself quite a good season. Now, he does have a little bit of a lower usage rate in the assist department. Now, because of that, I definitely would keep an eye out a little bit more for points and rebounds more than anything else, due to the fact that he just does have a little bit of a higher usage rate in those 2 departments. Now, as we mentioned before, when it comes to Duran, he also is a center for this team, and we also see that Washington Wizards really struggle against the center position. So we are definitely expecting Jaylen Duran to be able to take advantage of this and go on the over there. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the over for someone, like Jaylen Duran coming into this easy matchup against the Wizards. And looking at Jaylen Duran over the last 5 games, you see on the 2nd of, this month, faced off against Dallas, had a 122-110 win, had 33 points, 2 assists, and 10 rebounds. Then faced off against on the 4th against Memphis Grizzlies, had a 114-106 win with 14 points, 3 assists, 9 rebounds there. Then on the 6th, faced off against Utah, had a 114-103 win with 22 points, 3 assists, 22 rebounds. A big game there. On the 8th of this month, faced off against Brooklyn, had a 125-107 win with 30 points, 11 rebounds, 0 assists. Then on the 10th, faced off against Philly, had a 111-108 win against Philly, as we mentioned, with 21 points, 1 assist, and 16 rebounds. So Jaylen Duran has definitely, put the team on his back on top with Cade Cunningham, and has definitely just led this team to a great record. And coming into this one, we don't really see too much, sort of defensive pressures that are going to be on him, especially from a poor Wizards team that do not only just play poor defense, but on top of that, they do like to push the ball quite a lot, which is why they do allow a lot of points, rebounds, and assists due to the pace that they do like to run at. So coming into this one, we do very much like the over for this one. So Jaylen Duran, keep an eye out for his line because I see a lot of value there to go on the over. But as I mentioned, focus a little bit more on points and rebounds since he has a higher usage rate in both of those departments. So keep an eye out there. Now getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Grayson Allen. So Grayson Allen, great player for Phoenix Suns, as we all know. Now he does actually, or has been averaging 16.3 points, 3.2 rebounds, 4.7 assists, and also had a 42.1% field goal percentage. So he's done a great job there. And when we actually look at Grayson Allen, he ranks 67th in points, 150th plus in rebounds, 42nd in assists, and then 132nd in field goal percentage. Now, when we look at someone, like Grayson Allen and the Phoenix Suns, they do have themselves a matchup against the New Orleans Pelicans. It is going to be an exciting matchup for sure. And looking at where both these teams do lie, starting off with the Suns actually ranked 9th in the Western Conference. They have a record of 5 wins, 5 losses, a 50% win percentage, and also 4-1 from home and 1-4 from away. So they are currently on a 2-game win streak, and they face off against a Pelicans team who unfortunately rank last in the Western Conference, who are ranked 15th, but also have a record of 2 wins and 7 losses, a 22.2% win percentage, 1-2 from home, 1-5 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So very interesting to see there. Now coming into this matchup, it is definitely going to be an exciting one, but we do also see, looking at the Pelicans defensively, we do actually see that when it comes to New Orleans Pelicans, when it comes to points allowed, we do see them ranking really low as they rank 27th. On top of that, looking at assists allowed, we see that the Pelicans rank 18th, so they actually are tied with another team when it comes to, assists allowed. And then rebounds allowed, Pelicans also rank really low at 25th. So unfortunately, no disrespect to them, but Pelicans rank very low in all 3 categories, and that's why we do very much like the over for someone like Grayson Allen. Now, obviously, with a lot of injuries that Suns have faced off against, Grayson has definitely taken much more of a big role than probably was expected this season, and it's definitely kind of paid off because he has been scoring well, playmaking well, and also rebounding well. And coming into this one, we do also see, looking at his last 5 games, we saw in the first of this month, faced off against Utah, had a 118-96 win with 14 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds there. On the 3rd, faced off against San Antonio Spurs, had a 130-118 win with 17 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Then on the 5th, faced off against Golden State Warriors, had a 118-107 loss with actually 16 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds there. After that, on the 7th, faced off against LA Clippers, had a 115-102 win with 18 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds there. So it's definitely been very good for them to see. And on top of that, faced off against the LA Clippers. Then they faced off against the LA Clippers on the 9th and had a 114-103 win with 14 points, 3 assists, and 0 rebounds there. So we definitely have seen him do a good job. Now they face off against the Pelicans, as we've mentioned, and we aren't really expecting the Pelicans to really put that much pressure, as not only do Pelicans really struggle defensively, but they also struggle defending, the guard position as well. So for that reason, we do very, very much like the over for someone like Grayson Allen. Now, I don't think you really need to focus on any of the lines. I see a lot of value there to go on the over, especially if the line is under his averages.